Scandal Squad. Welcome back to the channel, Celebrity Scandalous. How are you guys doing tonight? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Anyway, so I just wanted to come and do a live, y'all. I am dog dead tired, but I wanted to come and do a live and talk about a couple. There's a lot of trending things today. There was Diddy. He has filed $100 million lawsuit against NBC for that documentary, The Fall of Diddy, or the making of Diddy. So that's one thing. Then there's let's see what else is going on. Coach Prime. Y'all know Deion Sanders, Coach Prime. He is allegedly dating Chris Brown's ex, Karrueche Tran. I know that's not a big deal, but it kind of is a big deal because Chris Brown likes to put his foot in anybody's ass that messes with any of his exes. And then there's this whole thing, R. Kelly. He had filed an appeal to get one of his ex trafficking cases overturned, which didn't work. And then the big blockbuster of the day, the breaking news of the day, was that Wendy Williams finally admits that it was her son who misappropriated funds in her account, which is why she landed in the guardianship. So we are going to be talking about all that stuff. So let's just get into it. Let's go. Let me see. I don't know. Can y'all hear me? Can you put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me, and hit the like button? Could you please? Could you? So let's start off with this R. Kelly story. Let me share this screen. And I'm just going to play the audio. So basically, R. Kelly had filed a, hey, Most Hated Bronze, can you hear me? Okay, thank you. And thank you for joining the chat. And can you hit the like button for me? So did you hear about all this gossip today? Today was a crazy day. Wendy Williams admitted her son just robbed her blind, and a big one with the R. Kelly situation. Now, that one was crazy. So let me play it for you guys. And let me know if you can hear it.
R. Kelly loses appeal of NYC sex trafficking and racketeering case. A federal appeals court has rejected fallen Randy B. star R. Kelly's bid to overturn his New York sex trafficking and racketeering conviction. Kelly, 58, who was sentenced to 30 years in prison in June 2022 on racketeering and sex trafficking charges, argued through his attorneys that he didn't run a racketeering enterprise because his employees didn't know the age of his young victims and therefore weren't acting with criminal intent.
Now, y'all hear this. He claims that he wants to get the case overturned because he claims that the people that work for him, all of his employees, that was allowing him and helping him to go to McDonald's to get the numbers of his high school age girls, didn't know the ages of the girls. Therefore, they didn't do anything illegal. I mean, I'm just summarizing basically is what he's saying. Come on, Kels. Now, seriously.
In an 85-page decision Wednesday, the Manhattan-based Second Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals rejected that argument and kept the guilty verdict against the I Believe I Can Fly singer intact. A Brooklyn federal court jury found him guilty in September 2021 of 1 racketeering count and 8 Mann Act counts, after a blockbuster trial with testimony from 40 witnesses and 11 accusers. The Mann Act criminalizes transporting people across state lines for immoral purposes. The record is replete with evidence that Kelly was able to commit the predicate acts because he was the head of a close-knit group of associates and he controlled the affairs of the enterprise, Second Circuit Judge Denny Chin wrote, explaining the 3-judge panel's decision. For instance, members of Kelly's entourage participated directly in a predicate act when they devised a plan for Kelly to marry Aaliyah when she was underage. Kelly's secret and illegal marriage to the late Randy B. teen phenom Aaliyah in 1994, when she was 15 and he was 27, unnerved some of his staunchest allies. Kelly's inner circle played a key role in recruiting his victims and keeping them quiet and under his thumb, helping enforce the singer's strict rules, and standing guard when Kelly made them stay in a room or a bus for hours or days, Chin wrote in the majority decision. They knew, or turned a blind eye to the fact, that the young women were minors, and knew Kelly had a sexually transmitted disease.
Now, they said 2 things that are just clearly disgusting. That he married Aaliyah when she was 15 and he was 27. So there are legal documents to show that they did get married. That's number one. The other thing is the fact that people around him knowingly knew that he was having relations with these girls when he had STDs. I believe I'm not even going to get into what he had, but I mean, that's just sick. Like, this is unbelievable. He knew this man has enough money, just like we see with Diddy. Y'all can go get a doctors to come on the road with you. Why wouldn't you protect yourself or at least take medication? He was knowingly having unprotected relations when he was infected. This is crazy. This man is sick.
Appeal, Kelly also tried to argue that 4 of the jurors were biased against him because of the publicity surrounding the case, pointing out that 2 jurors admitted they'd watched the 2019 documentary, Surviving R. Kelly. The appeals panel ruled, though, that Brooklyn federal judge and Donnelly correctly determined after giving each side an opportunity to request further questioning, that each juror could be impartial when deciding the case. Kelly's career was already in decline, but the documentary burned what was left of his reputation to the ground and sped his downfall. It featured numerous women describing their abusive relationships with the singer over decades. He was charged with sex crimes in Brooklyn, Illinois, and Minnesota later that year. In a dissenting opinion, one of the 3 judges, Richard Sullivan, said the conviction should stand, but he agreed with Kelly that one of his victims, Jane, should have been reimbursed only for a lifetime supply of generic herpes medication, not the more expensive brand name Valtrex.
Wow.
Jane testified that the singer pulled her into his orbit at age 17 and subjected her to years of abuse. Kelly's lawyer Jennifer Bonjean maintained that the $270,000 lifetime price tag of the Valtrex amounts to a windfall meant to influence her testimony. While we are disappointed that the Second Circuit affirmed Mr. Kelly's convictions, we believe the United States Supreme Court will be interested in reviewing this unprecedented opinion that gives the government limitless discretion to apply the RICO statute to situations absurdly remote from statute's intent, Bonjean said of the appeals court's decision. The statute was intended to punish organized crime, not individual conduct. In October, the Supreme Court rejected Kelly's appeal of his conviction and 20-year sentence for child sex crimes in Chicago. Kelly has lost every appeal in the Chicago case since he was convicted in September 2022 on 3 counts of producing child sexual abuse images and 3 counts of enticing minors for sex.
Wow.
Renowned researcher Marty Martin, dubbed the ambassador of rattlesnakes, dies from rattlesnake bite.
So yeah, so they did not overturn the case, and basically everything still stands. But it's just crazy to me that he would think that after all the evidence that he could still get off on that. But y'all, there's some even bigger news, some more breaking news. So I don't know if you were anywhere today. Everybody was talking about let me see. Hey Chris, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. There was a after the whole Tubi announcement with Wendy Williams, everybody was talking about the fact that she had done that documentary, you know, with Harry Levin and everything. And y'all, after that, I read that she actually signed let me find it here. She signed, let me share this tab, because I know everybody's been talking about it. I mean, everybody was talking about it today, right? So it says after the Tubi documentary, after everybody was talking about it, that Wendy actually signed a legal document to end her guardianship. Did y'all hear about this? I was like, wow, that's great. I mean, you know, this is what she had been fighting for. Tasha K, you say, yes, I heard. I hope it's great news and it sticks. Yeah, I hope so too. Okay, but the way when I first read it, I mean, when you first see it, you go, oh, Wendy Williams signs the legal doc to end her guardianship. So initially, I thought that it was something that had been signed and sealed and it was done and everything. But upon, you know, slowing down and because reading is fundamental, I realized that basically it said, as I got into the article, it looks like she signed that she's started the moving documents to get, you know, hopefully get this in front of a judge and get all of the signatures and get everything together. So basically it says Wendy Williams signs legal doc to end her guardianship. Just hours after TMZ documentary on Wendy Williams dropped on Tubi, the wheels started turning to end her guardianship. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Wendy signed an affidavit Wednesday afternoon asking the judge to set her free. According to the affidavit, Wendy says she has regained capacity to function without a guardian. And so I really want to play that Harvey Levin, I want to play the audio portion, but TMZ is so persnickety. I'm just scared. Like, I don't know. I've seen some content creators play it, but I got a huge hit before playing some Steve Harvey stuff. So I don't know. I might play a little bit and stop it. But anyway, it says that she has regained her capacity to function without a guardian. And so basically, I was just listening to it, and it sounds like at one point she probably did need a guardian for her money as well as her health. But it's just weird to me how they were commingled, right? And that it got to this state. But anyway, that's a long story. And the person who has the most in-depth coverage of this would be Conscious TV. He has done a thorough job, months long, even back to when it first started. So if you want all of the, I don't have all of the historical articles, but I mean, all of us used to talk about it, but he has all of the information. So it says, Wendy also says in the affidavit, she does not have frontotemporal dementia, despite what doctors had claimed. In our Tubi documentary, TMZ presents Saving Wendy. We explain frontotemporal. I hope I'm saying that right. My mother would smack the ish out of me. She would be like, "Girl, you know how you're supposed to know how to pronounce medical terms." But dementia never gets better, and anyone who watches knows Wendy is much better than she was 2 years ago. Oh my God. Do you guys remember how she looked 2 years ago? Remember when she was hanging out with Black China, when she was emaciated, when DJ Booth was, at her apartment? Remember when she had that guy who was her fake manager? He had been a jeweler and he was living with her. And y'all should know because he was in the documentary. But remember how emaciated she looked when they were going around town in New York and stuff? And she is sitting in the car and they was catching her vaping in her eyes. Because I don't know, but I'm just going to say secondhand knowledge of, medicine. People with Graves' disease, they have the eye issues. And there's also a component of mental debility that can occur when you have any kind of thyroid issues, right? So, yeah, I don't know, but she's always talked about the fact that she had the thyroid problem. So given that, with her medication, with the drug abuse, I mean, this lady was probably a train wreck, And then we're going to get into how her son, which she finally admitted, was able to misappropriate funds. It says our sources say Wendy will be reevaluated by a doctor next Tuesday, and this doctor was selected by the attorney Wendy has hired to end the guardianship. We're also told the following day her lawyer will file an emergency order to show cause, translation, a petition to force the issue with the judge who has the power to end her guardianship. So even though, I mean, this headline is a tad bit misleading, but it does sound like she's on the road and on her way to possibly in this guardianship. Now, I don't know if y'all remember about a week or two. Well, it's been more than a week or two. It's probably been closer to the time. I guess it's been about a month when she did the interview with Charlemagne the God. Y'all forgive me. I'm so tired. I've been so busy today. Charlemagne the God. Remember when she went on his show? Well, after that, they did the GoFundMe to get her son, to hire an attorney and everything. And then Tasha K got the winos to donate, money to the GoFundMe. So it sounds like that worked and she got representation. Now, this is probably an unpopular opinion, but unfortunately, I'm a huge Wendy fan. I have been. Our kids are the same age, and just total respect for her. Remember when she was on WBLS? So I've known about Wendy for 20 years now. Just really admired her journalistic. Well, she was more of a shock jock to some degree. But anyway, she's done it, right? She's a pioneer. But I'm not giving up money for this. I'm sorry. There are other causes that I would feel more compelled to give money to, but and it's unfortunate that she landed in the situation that she did, but I just didn't see personally me contributing to that fund. Now, there's a lot of other things. I give money freely. Y'all know I give money away on my channel. I will support. But in this instance, I feel like no, it just sometimes, because I feel like people in her position, and unfortunately she ended up in a very peculiar situation based on her choices. It's just that a person who has access to millions, no, it's too many kids out there who are motherless or homeless. No, I'm not doing it anyway. That's just my opinion. But anyway, it says if the judge turns down the request to end the guardianship, we're told Wendy will demand a jury trial where jurors will decide if Wendy has regained her capacity to run her own life without guardian control. In our documentary, Wendy says she feels like a prisoner with no relief to get fresh air, no internet, no incoming calls, no visitors, and various other restrictions, which is very strange to me because given the fact that this woman is worth damn, I mean, I've heard in the upwards of 20, 40 million. I don't know what happened. I remember when this story first broke years ago, they were talking about her like $60 million estate, and now it's dwindled down. I don't think that Wendy is broke as people were reporting, because forensically, when they look at the money, it will have to be accounted for. If you are the executor of the estate or whatever, the guardian, they have to give an accounting, and that's their job. And so it would be easy for somebody to go to jail if they are misappropriating funds, which is why, hence, she's in the situation she's in, because her son. Now, for those of you, let me just take a quick check and see, because I haven't even been looking at the chat. So hey Lulu, hey y'all, go follow Lulu's World 93, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Hey Lulu, I didn't even tell her that I was going live because I knew it was late and I wasn't even planning to go. But thank you for joining, Sweet Peach. Yeah, like Chris says, because she's it's not just because she's rich, but that is one of the reasons. But it's also because like there are just so many people with such misfortune, and some of Wendy's has gotten herself into her situation with her own undoing. And so I just feel like there are greater causes that I could contribute to. That's just me. And I, not to say that I'm not a fan, but it's like, are you crazy, lady? Are you crazy? Yeah, y'all. Can you get the likes up? Please get the likes up. So you guys remember when this story first broke, I'm gonna say, and Chris, you might remember because you've been doing, I know you do, Wendy. I think that's how I ended up in your chat before. Well, didn't this stuff start like in either 2019 or 2020 when all of this stuff started? I think it was after Kevin had the baby with Sharina and all of that stuff, and they were going through the divorce. I can't remember the exact year, but when it all started happening, do you guys remember the first reports out was that Kevin, her son, let me see, sadly, you have people who will give men, and that's crazy. I mean, these people are, I mean, and I understand, like, if somebody's house burned down, stuff like that, and they're in dire straits, right? And you need to help them immediately. That's one thing. But we got so many children out here that don't have school supplies. They don't have the basics. They don't have bus passes. Trust me, in my environment, I know these girls don't have good undergarments, and so Wendy, and I'm not trying to sit here in judgment, but it's like, girl, you were 50, $60 million. You allowed this man to get to your mind. She knew for a very long time about the other woman because allegedly, y'all correct me if I'm lying, they said that that they had invited Sharina in their bedroom years before, that they had started messing with her when she was like in her early 20s. So they've had like a 20-year relationship in terms of her being affiliated with Wendy and Kevin. So y'all started mess years ago when they was swinging, allegedly. Now these is all allegations, so these are choices that they made. But there are young people that come into this world that are still young, and they were born into bad circumstances, and they don't have money. They can't get to school. They don't have breakfast. So you think I'm giving my hard-earned money to them? When you again, I understand, feel sorry for the situation, want the best for her. But ma'am, you made choices, you made decisions. So when it comes to help it, yes, yes, you're right. I'm sorry. Yes, allegedly, Lulu has to keep me on track with the allegedly. It's just the fact that I just felt like people were so quick, and then some of the people that were sitting up there championing for her was like, y'all is the mother duckers that done outed this woman a few years ago. Hell, we wouldn't known half of the stuff we knew about her if it wasn't for the content creators talking shit about her. And now you're coming back to us, asking us to fix the stuff that she broke. I don't think so. But anyway, when it first started, when the story first broke, it was reported all over that Kevin initially that he had tried to withdraw some money, which flagged her Wells Fargo account. I don't know if you guys remember that. And so it was like, I remember it was something like the Uber account or Uber expenses or something. But I remember there were multiple articles that came out. And so even in the documentary where they, talking to Wendy and everything, and then his cousin even confirmed that, Kevin was trying to get Uber Eats and he was getting money for parties and stuff like that. So that was the initial flag with Wells Fargo. What I did not understand was how Wells Fargo could come in and get a conservator or a guardian over her and it not be her family. Well, in recent weeks, what we have learned is that initially, okay, so let me try to break it down the way off the top of my head at this late hour, y'all, because I'm supposed to be asleep. So what I'm understanding is the fact that the account was flagged by Wells Fargo because of these large withdrawals Kevin Jr. was making. Now, there are some allegations that Kevin Jr. was also trying to get some woman to pretend, like a senior woman, an older woman, to try to pretend that she was Wendy or get some signatures, like sign some documents or something, right? Because he did have access to Wendy's accounts, plural. Now, Wendy at that time, allegedly, DJ Booth, because he was talking about it. Remember, she was living in an apartment by herself. Allegedly, she was just zonked out. Her primary purpose and her primary goals at that time was just liquor, pills, or whatever she was doing, right? So Kevin was kind of running everything. He had access to the money. The divorce had been final, and Kevin Sr. had gotten his money, and his money was running thin. So it's being alleged that there may have been some influence with Kevin Sr. kind of coercing or assisting Kevin Jr. with trying to funnel money from Wendy. Like, I mean, if this becomes a legal issue, I don't know. Because they're saying it could be. Now, see, the thing about it, though, even though it's Wendy's money and she's saying her son was misappropriating funds, there's still federal laws. It don't matter, right? And those are still protections for people that are incapacitated. So it could be a situation where even if she doesn't want to press charges, the bank, because it would still be a fraud against the bank. And I don't know how all of that works, but you know what I'm saying. So they're saying that, Kevin was trying to get the money, raised the red flag. So then they said, okay, well, again, mind you guys, remember, Wendy's a little zonkers at this time. They said, well, you know what? Sounds like there's a lot going on. Wendy was having medical issues. I think she was in the rehab. DJ Booth had found her in her apartment, almost DEAD, unalived and everything. She was walking around with no clothes on, just a lot of things out of her mind, right? So they said, well, we're going to get you a guardian. Who would you like for it to be? Kevin convinced her to allow him to be the guardian. I'm sorry. And so the bank officials were like, or whoever, I don't know how their staffing or what their titles are, but they were like, no, this is the same person that we are saying, is the cause of all this that created these alerts against your account. So they did not want Kevin, because my initial, when all of this broke, I was like, well, my daughter is the same age as Kevin Jr. And if anything happens to me, my daughter can be in control of everything, anything I got, But now that I'm seeing or understanding what's happening, I get it. So they wanted her sister. Now, you guys know her sister is an attorney as well. So everybody was like, well, damn, why can't her sister do it? She's an attorney. I think we've already discussed this. Yeah, like Chris says, who can she really trust? And her brother. Oh my God, her brother's a nut. I think I told you guys I've been on panels with him. He has his own channel. He's crazy. So everybody was like, well, her sister, okay, well, her sister doesn't do that kind of law, but I don't think it's that much of a stretch because as an attorney, you kind of know the fundamentals. So she could have been the guardian if she wanted to be, but apparently she wanted Wendy to be on the straight and narrow, and she did not want Wendy to be drinking, and Wendy wasn't going for that. So she rejected. So the bank officials rejected Kevin being the guardian, and Wendy didn't want her sister to do it. So I guess they came to some agreement where they would get an objective person court appointed. So that's how everything started going downhill. Lulu says, let me see. You said, I still don't understand who assigned her to that white woman. Why did it have to be a stranger? Okay, Lulu. So because the way it works is that I'm actually going through probate now for my uncle, and so they're trying to get me to be the appointed person, although I'm not necessarily next to kin. There are other people that would be closer, but because of my legal background and stuff, so they think that I should do it. So that's that. If I don't do it, the other people that are involved, it's a few of them, they could appoint, but if there's no agreement, then the court would appoint the person. The I don't know what it's called. The I forget the name of the person. I forget what they're saying my role would be, but it like the conservator, the guardian, or whatever. It would be a court appointed person, and so that it doesn't matter. Like once the family can agree, then it's court appointed, and then there are people that's their job. So I mean, I don't know if you're saying it because the white woman or because she's not kin to her, but that's just because it's just the court will appoint somebody. So whoever has that role or position within the court, that's who it would be. So it's not like she was cherry picked. It's just like, well, y'all can't agree, so this is who's assigned to your case. So that's kind of how it happens generally. And I'm learning more about it as well as I go through this process myself. So the sister, yeah. So it's kind of like that, and it's kind of like Wendy's fault though, to be honest, because she could have allowed her sister to do it, but she knew her sister was going to want her to get clean and, not do drugs and everything. But then again, I mean, like Chris was saying earlier, who can she really trust? Because I think her brother, her nephew, her son, other people, the person who was her, her, the guy the jeweler, the fake manager, like he was controlling her money, and then there's the assistant. So she had like a whole entourage of people that was like getting money from her. And then I don't know if you guys remember, Kevin even tried to sue and go back to court and say that she had been hiding funds. And yeah, please get the likes up, y'all. Can we get the likes up? Thumbs up, especially now because y'all, and thank you for being here. Because let me tell you, I was so sleepy. I was like, forget it. Because I'm trying to force myself to do this because y'all know I prefer to do the pre-recorded. But I was tired. I'm like, okay, well, just don't turn the camera on tonight. Maybe tomorrow. So I appreciate you guys because you give me energy because I was so tired. I'm like, I'm just too tired. But anyway, okay, so Lulu says I didn't understand it like that. Yeah, so it'll just be a random person who will be appointed if the family doesn't agree. So that's kind of what happened to her. I was also saying that her sister was trying to get her clean, and she didn't want to, agree with the sister. So that's another thing. And and I was saying that so many people, they were in her pockets, right? I mean, they was just like in her pockets. And yeah, she did not know who to trust. And it wasn't until she became like deathly ill. And and Kevin, thank you guys. I appreciate that. Thank you. You said it's for Kevin. I know, right? Kevin, I believe that the end of Wendy, her quick downward spiral, was when Kevin had that baby with Sharina. Because you guys remember when Daily Mail first did that expose showing where Kevin lived like 7 miles. I remember that story so good, y'all. It was 7 miles. He was like, it says, his mistress lives 7 miles away in I forget how many millions of dollars of that. Wait, the house was 750,000. I kind of vaguely remember the how much the house was, but anyway, 7 miles away. And apparently Wendy knew that he would go with Serena, allegedly under the guise of, they're working out or they're going to the gym or she's handling business for them. She allowed that. She buried her head in the sand. I'm sorry, ladies. I know it's hard. I know it's rough out there, but hell, nobody got you but you. Well, y'all just said y'all got me, but you know what I'm saying. It's like, no, ma'am. I mean, like, no, there are things in life that you have to deal with. I don't care how painful, if you married and your man is cheating or he has a baby, it's hurtful, but you won't be the first and you won't be the last. And hell, you just suck it up and carry on, get your girls and get over it. It happens. But Wendy kind of buried her head in the sand. You said in that house that Wendy's, yes, alleged, yes. That's what that exact, and it was their house because Kevin was her manager, so he was making money off of her, and Sharina wasn't working at the time, and driving. She didn't want him to embarrass her. That's what she said. She said that's the one thing that she always said that because if you guys remember when Kevin Jr. was a baby, she was talking about how she had went through those miscarriages and that he had cheated on her before Kevin Sr. Kelvin, that's his name, Kelvin. He had cheated before. And so she was always saying, just don't embarrass me. I don't know why she didn't think this man was going to cheat again. I think, well, she did know he was going to cheat again. But anyway, she just didn't want it to be public embarrassment. And then I think it got to the point where, now y'all probably not going to like this, but Wendy has, if you follow her over the years, I believe she has to some degree some kind of a personality disorder. And I'm saying that not to it as a knock, but she has something where she was so focused and centered on her work. It allowed her to be so great in that area, but the other areas of her life were disastrous. And there are people who are functional addicts and all sorts of things. So there was something amiss because even though she was so great and she gave us so much content on television, apparently her home life was in shambles. The way she mothered her son, I know she loved him, but it sounds like the emotional connection or things weren't there. And I'm saying this from listening. Now that I look back and chronicle her life and my experience, because like I said, our kids are like months apart, maybe in the same month, in the same age. I just remember how she would talk about the things that she did, and she always focused on work. She never really had friends. Her weekends were in front of the TV, watching shows so that she could talk about it. And a lot of times she would talk about the fact that she did not go to Kevin's events at school. She didn't like those kind of functions. She didn't like people to touch her. It was a lot of things. She was a germaphobe. Well, hell, I'm a germaphobe too. You says, do you think, yeah, keep a lot of women want to do that, to keep a piece of a man. A lot of us do that. Unfortunately, I don't subscribe to that. I'd rather be manless than to be no, that's the one thing we can't do. I could be by myself. It's not that serious. When I was younger, maybe you want to be in a relationship, but once you get your own footing and you acquire things in your life, you realize that if a person is not elevating you, I don't give a damn. No, I'm good. Do I think Kevin brainwashed her? That's a good question. Y'all. Now that's open for everybody. Yeah, that's another thing. She kind of, remember her and Nene fell out. She would kind of out people, things that people would tell her in confidence. But you know what? I mean, Tasha K is the same way. And to Tasha's defense, she says that that's who I am, and y'all should already know. There's no loyalty. So that's what Tasha tell you too. Tasha's like, if it's content, it's I don't function that way. No, that's not cool to me because I believe in loyalty. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay, Chris. Now we ain't gonna we ain't gonna have Tasha coming for us, girl. Okay. Lulu says, Chris, I feel that was her job. Um, you man, you had a good question when you said did Kevin brainwash her? Because I feel like to some degree it was like I think she had gotten so hooked on the rugs. But if y'all remember, she was doing the rugs before she even met Kevin. And so I don't know if Kevin brainwashed her as much as I feel like he allowed her to be able to do the one thing that she was passionate about, which was radio. And she was good at that. And that's where she was in her element. And she just dumped the rest of her life and all of the other chores onto him, trusting him to do right by her to some degree, which is crazy. No, you could wait, you said, but no. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you girl. So here's the thing, Chris, as a FYI, I don't know if you've been watching this whole thing with Love Jones and Chelsea, but it's got messy. So and it's something. Storm Monroe was on the Love Jones channel, and he said something about Tasha, which exploded. And so, girl, and that's a reminder because the thing about it is, and I know people are kind of persnickety about what you can say in their chats and stuff and everything, especially about other creators, because people will be in the chat, say something. It won't even be the creator saying it, the content creator. Then it gets carried away. People taking screenshots. It gets back to somebody and it's a mess. But I don't know if you're familiar with what's going on, but that is a big one. I was thinking about doing a video on that, but now it's so much. It is so much. But that's a real juicy one. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up on that with the whole Chelsea and Tasha K situation. That one is heating up. The last I heard was Tasha K did a police report allegedly on Chelsea, and I'm not sure the latest. Even more drama. No, I say from yeah, girl, it's a lot. I watch it, but and then I was hesitant to. I've seen a couple content creators kind of broach it. Like I don't know. It's like because you just never know. You said one wrong comment and it's World War III, child. It's like it's not even worth it. So, but it is juicy. But anyway, okay, y'all. I done got off topic. I done got off topic with the Wendy Williams. But let's see. So we're talking about Kevin. Let's see. Yes, exactly. Nail biter. Be careful. Yes. But it's just you can't turn away. Chris and CS, are you guys doing the blackout on the 28th? Chris, Lulu says, are you and CS, are you guys doing the blackout on the Chris says blackout. Like where do I think she's asking you, Lulu, what blackout? We're waiting for you. What blackout, Lulu? Maybe she's responding. What's the relation with Kevin Jr. and Kevin Sr.? You mean father and son? The relation? They're pretty close, as far as I know. It had been reported. And hey, Michelle, welcome to the chat. Please hit the thumbs up. Please hit the like button, please. When this story first broke, like years ago, when they were talking about the fact that Kevin, no, I haven't heard, but let me know. Yeah, as far as we know, yeah, they do get along, Michelle. They're really close because when Kevin, so two things. It's alleged that Kevin Jr. was trying to help Kevin Sr. get money. Remember, because this was after the divorce, and so they're feeling like Kevin Sr. he had lost a lot of money because he had fronted money for various businesses for Serena. And so when his money kind of ran out and he was, I mean, he had gotten a lump sum of money, but his expenses were astronomical because they have multiple businesses. They were living large. They were buying all these expensive Ferraris and everything. And so he had went back to the court and said that Wendy had hidden some money from him and was trying to sue her and the network to get more money. And so that is all around the same time that Kevin Jr. was trying to, make these large purchases and these huge withdrawals. So that's one thing. So people are speculating that Kevin Sr. had a hand in that and was helping him do that. And the second thing is that one of the things that Kevin Sr., well, Kevin Jr. and Kevin Sr. were so close is because I don't know if you recall when he went through that whole, when he was doing the marijuana thing. Remember when he had gotten hooked on, I forget what kind of stuff they call it back then, but it was pretty going around and all the young people were doing it and people were just spazzing out. It wasn't a regular like herbal essence. It was like stuff that was laced and had these people going crazy. Well, they went to somebody, I don't know if it was Dr. Sebi, because I don't know if Dr. Sebi was alive then, or one of like those Dr. Sebi type of places he went to, and Serena, the mistress, went with him. So Wendy would not take off of work. Okay. So that's something that had been back in the day when all of this first came out. This is one of the things that they talked about, was the fact that Serena, the mistress was like a second mom to him. So she was really close to the family and she was very, very close to Kevin. And so Wendy had to know. So that was odd to me. Like, she actually went to the resort with him. She helped get him through that. Because remember, she also has a, vegan. She does vegan food. She had a vegan shop that Kevin purchased for her. So she was doing, vegan lifestyle. And if y'all remember, do y'all remember even Wendy had become a vegetarian and she was running around talking about, I don't eat meat anymore. I don't need to eat. I don't do this and I don't do it. Serena, they're saying Serena is the person who had a hand in all of that, right? Do y'all remember that? You're saying, oh my God, that is so messy and probably heartbreaking for Wendy, mistress taking her place allegedly. Yeah, but then Chris, the problem though, see, this is another thing, and maybe I'm old school, maybe I'm from the old school. You can't invite women into your, if this is true, because they said that she was part of a little trio. I don't feel like you can invite a woman into, like my mom always used to say, it can't be two skirts in the kitchen. I mean, I don't feel like you can comfortably have another woman come into your bedroom and not think that there's going to be some fallout. Now, I don't know if it was allegedly a one-time situation. Yes. Yeah, that's what they're saying, but Serena has been with dang girl, if you their pictures dating back to the late 1990s, because hell, y'all know Charlemagne introduced Serena to Kevin, to them anyway. So there are pictures of them back in the day where they will all go in club together, so yeah, I mean, she's been around their family for years. But I think going back to your original comment is that Wendy never wanted to be she just didn't want the public embarrassment. And y'all know, which was so sad, if y'all remember, because remember Wendy used to wear that big rock on her finger, on her left hand, and it was huge. It was massive. I won't even say it was gaudy, because some jewelry just looks gaudy. But that rock that she used to sport her wedding ring, it was just Wendy. It was Wendy. And remember when all of these stories broke and people were saying, oh, Wendy, let us know, are you getting a divorce or are the rumors true? And Wendy was like, I'm not discussing. See, and that's another thing about Wendy. She would talk about everybody's business but hers, which is a similar situation with Chelsea Alana and Tasha K. Like, Tasha talk about everybody now that Chelsea trying to out her. It's a problem. But you know what I'm saying? So when you get in these spaces, just like us, the content creators, when you are talking about other people's business, you must be aware and prepared for when somebody tries to do you. And if you stay in it long enough, you will become a target. It happens to the best of them. I'm just saying. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's karma, but it's like, when all of that, when the story broke about her husband, what was crazy to me is the fact that she wouldn't address it. It's like, you sit up here and tell us every damn body's business. You tell us, oh, the Daily Mail reported this and so reported that. Well, hell, when the Daily Mail is reporting about you, you expect us not to believe it's true? That's what I was just like, Wendy, come on now. You are making a mockery of yourself. Like, you just have to face it, acknowledge it. You ain't got to get deep with it. But she was in total denial. She was like, well, as long as I have this ring on my finger, I am Miss, what's the man's name? Hunter. Yeah. And remember, she did that. Okay, well, let me see. I know you guys were talking about something. Let me see. Wendy was always an insecure woman and was trying to be what every one of her. Yeah, but she always said that. Remember, because she talked about when she was a little girl, a younger girl, she never felt like she fit in with her family, because remember, she was overweight. That was one of her big challenges. That's one of the things that I really loved about her. She was so true about all of her procedures she got, all of the plastic surgery, the lipo, the dieting. That's one of the things that really, her transparency is what really attracted a lot of us, because back in those days, a lot of people didn't talk about it. It was so, it was such a secret. And she talked about her struggles. She was always the big girl when she was in Jersey, because remember, she was with all those white girls, kind of like in the suburbs and everything. And, you can tell the way she speaks or whatever. She just has an accent to me, like either New York or Jersey, And so she talks about the fact that she was always very insecure. So when she got with Kevin, she was just like enamored, because, Kevin is her second husband. So yeah, I agree with that. She was insecure, and then giving her, like, y'all, I don't know if you guys even remember, she tried to get with Biggie and he rejected her. Like, she tried to, and she did sleep with, did she sleep with Biggie? I forget if they slept together one time or something, but she, she would hang in those circles and she would get rejected. I don't know if you guys even, she was married before. I was a short-lived marriage. I forget the man's name. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, I did a video about that. Let's see. Okay, let me look for that. But wait a minute. Lulu, you were asking about the CS. Check your IG messages when you get a chance. Lulu is saying check your IG messages. And Lulu, what is can you tell us what the CS or what is it? Because I'm curious too. Excuse me. Lulu, what is what's going down? Tell us I don't want FOMO, fear missing out, girl. I want to know. Yeah, let's see what is Wendy's first husband. Wendy Williams' first husband. Okay, here he is, you guys. Can y'all, I know you probably can't see it. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Can y'all see that? It says Wendy Williams' first husband, Bert Grigiori. They were married from 1994 to 1995. Yeah, I knew it wasn't a very long marriage. You guys see that? And he said she was a mess even back then. Oh, y'all see, I'm slow. Okay, so what was the question again? Lulu, you said you were asking the question. What's the blackout though? What's the blackout, y'all? Okay, Lulu, I'm so sorry, ma'am. Your girl's a little challenged over here. It's after 9:00, girl. Look, and listen. I'm just trying to stick to my commitment to myself to do this every night, even though it's a challenge. Um, Lulu, what's the blackout though? What's the blackout? Yeah, y'all. So anyway, uh, let's girl, listen. I done got so off kilter. I wanted to play some of the because I know everybody's been playing it, but let's just play some of it anyway. I'm not gonna play a lot of it, guys, because I just don't want to get my channel struck no more. I've had a couple copyright claims in the last couple of weeks, so I'm not gonna do too much. Let's see. Share this tab instead.
Mark Garrett is here. Are you angry today?
I am so angry. And I'm not saying this to be dramatic.
Oh no, I wanted to play where he talks about Wendy, where she's talking about her son.
Is back to who she was. She is sober. She is focused. She is with it. She is the old Wendy Williams, but stuck in a guardianship where I think she's being treated like a prisoner. So let's get to the clip. This is how the guardian.
You think Kevin, her husband looks like the first husband? I think you got to see another picture because he looked kind of dorky. He looked kind of messy. I don't know.
Guardianship started, and as Mark said, we'll get into how it ran amok.
Did anybody ever explain to you why you're in a guardianship?
No, not exactly. But you know what? There are some things that I do know for myself. You know what I'm saying? And I understand. It's about my money. You know what I'm saying?
Can you talk to me about how Wendy ended up?
Now, Wendy may be behind in bars, y'all, but did you know that she had that velvet matte, looks like Fenty lipstick on? Anybody know what color that is? Because I would sure love to get it.
In a guardianship.
My understanding is somebody was in her bank account that Wells Fargo flagged, and there was large withdrawals being taken out.
My son, he overstepped his boundaries in terms of me. You understand? He overstepped his boundaries, and he was inappropriately using my money without telling me crap about it. Like, is he stealing from me? Look, all I know is that in terms of what I'm dealing with, and that this is still going on because, that's when my money got frozen.
You guys, I better put this banner back up because that's another way to try to avoid getting the copyright strike. So hold on one second. I forgot about that. Let me just put the banner up. So, okay. Let me play it now.
In Wells Fargo, thank God. No more money stealing from my son and the other people.
Wells Fargo, your bank, said you were the victim of undue influence and financial exploitation with respect to your money. Who was unduly influencing you? Who is the person that was doing this?
Thank you. Listen, my son is a really good person. You know what? Oh, God, I'm not going to cry about that. Oh, I'm sorry for cursing. Look, my son is a good person, but at this point, he is a horrible person too.
She done just threw Kevin Jr. all the way under the bus, y'all, right? I guess Wendy was like, at this point, I just want to be free. I don't give a damn who gets messed with. Loving Myself said, hey, Loving Myself, welcome to the chat. Thank you for joining. Please hit the like button, Miha, since you just coming in. You said Kevin is Wendy's twin. You think so? Oh, you know what? Yes, he is. You're right. He is. I was thinking about some pictures. I've seen them together. Yeah. It's kind of like he goes in and out. And everybody's saying hey to you, Loving Myself, and also saying hey to Lulu as well. And I'm just seeing Lulu what you sent. I'm looking at it now.
Me. You know what I'm saying? It's the way he moves with other people. You know what I'm saying? And what's going on with these other people at my apartment in Miami? What are you doing? Oh, you spent on what? And what is going on at Wells Fargo?
There was a situation where Kevin says he wanted to rent a boat for his birthday for $1,500 and ended up getting a boat that rented out for $113,000. And he blamed it on the bank, that the bank wanted him to have that. That never really made sense to me.
Normie, you know what I'm saying? He has a way of getting.
Oh yeah, I'm totally down for what you just sent, Lulu. And y'all probably say I shouldn't say it online, but I don't know why we shouldn't talk about it publicly, because I'm totally for it. And you guys, just another thing, did you guys know, excuse me, this is a little off topic. Did you guys, first of all, there was another plane crash today, and then there was one yesterday. And also, did you guys know that Google has removed any references to Black History Month, any kind of cultural specific you know, activities or events or alliances? Now they're saying excuse me, you know, of course this is Black History Month, so they've removed all of those references, like, you know, how we used to have Black History Month celebration and stuff. So they've taken off Black history. See, for me, they've taken off everything for Jewish people, Indian stuff. But I feel like the real targets, because everybody always wants to believe that DEI is for us, when it's not. It's a very expansive list, very, very, you know, you could be over a certain age, you a diversity hire. So this is crazy. And I feel like a lot of people always think it's us, but they don't realize, even if you're a white male, at some point you can become labeled a DEI as well. Whew. Anyway, so yeah, Google. Yeah. Loving myself. I really do feel like a lot of it is a target, you know, for us to think that they're taking resources away from us or going to cripple us. Yeah, it's I haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure so many people are talking about it. I did some videos today, but I was busy doing errands and stuff, so I missed a lot. But yeah, I'm for it. I can even post it on my community post if you want me to, or if you think we should, or whatever. You let me know. But I'm totally for that. That's the only way we're gonna impact or make a change for anything. But I'm just shocked at how they are really rolling back these DEI programs. All of the people that, the diversity chiefs and, analysts and everything, that they are losing their jobs. Man, they are cutting these positions out. One of my girlfriends had just called me today and told me that one of the ladies at her job, excuse me, it wasn't for a DEI position, but she was up for a role, a very hot, like a C-suite role. And she was allegedly initially being considered, excuse me, but since Orange is in the office and stuff, like, people are not playing the way that they used to, and they're just like, nah, it's not gonna happen. It's it's sort of like previously, I think they tried to even pretend to be fair, but I feel like we're gonna roll back to the point where it's like, F it, no, we literally just don't want you, and that's a hard no. It's kind of scary. I'm not shocked, but I'm glad they are showing us who. Man, man. I remember at my company, this one lady, and HR got involved because I told, because she was giving this other Black chick a hard time. So when they got into it, of course, I was front and center, because you guys know I've already sued a Fortune 500 company. I'm always the girl that's like, I'm good, but nah, you're not gonna take no. So anyway, but so what happened is, this woman gonna tell me that her son, he was a mechanical engineer, something like that, biomechanical engineer or something. It was in the biomeds or something, and she was saying he can't get a job. Now, mind you, this is about a year and a half ago. And so my daughter at the time, no, it's longer than a year ago, but my daughter had gotten a program, a technical program management position at Lyft. It was a very prestigious job, like in the low 200s, okay, for a 22, 3-year-old, whatever age she was. So, I mean, and I get the one, my daughter is a graduate from an HBCU, top of her class in computer science. So, I get it. But so she was like, well, my son can't get a job. And I'm like, yeah, I feel you, but he'll get a job and blah, 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 blah. And so then she's like, yeah, because of these hires, she goes, nobody will give my son. I was want to say, B, ain't nobody gave my daughter ish. We had to work for it. So it's almost like they're always comparing, like, oh, she got, no, my kid did a Google program. Google came to her college and they had 80 students, and 7 out of those 80s, you had, in order for you to get a Google internship, which they do for a lot of the PWIs as well, you have to pass this class. She passed. Not only did she pass the class, she threw the curve off 2 times. So of course I effing get defensive and be damn near ready to lose my mind when people challenge us like that, because it's like, we have to work harder. 2 times as hard. If we get someplace, it's not you. The only thing I will say is you didn't give us an opportunity. You just didn't hold us back. We are entitled to be there. And 9 times out of 10, we are working effing harder to even be there. So when this woman sat up there and made that comment to me, I damn near lost my mind. So when HR asked about it, I sang like a jaybird because it was racist. You're up here almost alluding to the fact that your son can't get jobs because of, I forget the way she said it, but I told HR exactly how everything went. But it's like we always have to defend who we are, what we are, where we are. And another thing is that that pisses me off is, and I think y'all saw it a few weeks ago when I think it was, I don't know who it was, but this person was like, you guys are ghetto. And it's like, where I come from, in all humility, a lot of the kids that I am aligned with live better than probably 50% of even white children in this country. So people have this perception that all white people are wealthy, and no, it's not. Middle class, even impoverished. So don't do that, because I've met white people that ain't never been out of this country. You know what I'm saying? So it just irritates me, it's just sometimes the fact that we have to prove ourselves over and over. I mean, even Lulu, like you done been traveled multiple countries from what you told me, So it's like, and I know some white folks that ain't been nowhere. Well, I really don't know them, to be honest. But I'm just saying, it's a lot of people that are just barely making it in this country. The Appalachians, below the reading levels are below 5th grade. So stop it. But it's going to be worse, man. They ain't going to want to give us nothing. Nada. Nil. Y'all, we have gotten off topic. Chris says, Orange, or Loving Myself says, Orange is the reason why KC lost the Super Bowl. You think so? Oh yeah, people were pissed that he was there. Cardi B came off talking bad about him too. Chris says, or they start firing people because of that and saying it is just, yeah. That's what they're doing now. I mean, well, out here with all the tech companies, I mean, we go through layoffs all the time. So that's not uncommon, but I think this is an opportunity or a way for them to get rid of what they consider DEI hires, I mean, it's not fair. And I've seen it from even myself. I remember at one company, the company that I sued, I was on a team. I was the only African-American woman. I had a master's. Everybody below me, even people with higher titles than me, I was the only one on that team that had a master's. I would not have been in that group if I didn't have a master's. They did not require that of the other people, the white folks, but in order for me to be there, I had to have this credentials. You know what I'm saying? It's unfair. It's a lot of times we are academically, we have higher achievements and credentials than our counterparts for the same positions. You know, it's crazy. But y'all, okay, so Lulu says, yep, it's either we're too educated or undereducated. We always have to face the most roadblocks because of our skin. Always, absolutely always. And I remember the one thing too is even being in tech, and especially once I transitioned into cyber, you're always well, back in when I did, I'm going to say 20 years ago now, because it's 2024 or 2025. So let's say, yeah, the early 2000s, it was primarily white males. And in order for you to be in that circle, I mean, of course there were other women, but not in my area where I was. I was kind of like one of one. You had to speak a certain way. You had to laugh at the jokes. Ha 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 ha. You had to be visually. And I'm going to say this too, in terms of being an African American woman, if you are more attractive, or if you're attractive, it helps for sure. You got to play their games. You have to know how to make them comfortable. You have to assimilate. You definitely have to know how to code switch. And it's so tiring. It's like being the only one in the meetings and the foods and the kosher this, and hell, I don't eat that. I don't, it's just like, it's so lonely. You don't have any representation. I mean, but fast forward, I'm gonna say in the last 7 or 8 years, it's gotten a lot better, because I started working with a few Black women, and then working with a larger pool of Indians. The Indian people were way more embracing than the white males. Once I moved to the new company, and it's primarily Indian in the cyber space, very different. The Indian women are so welcoming. Invite me to their we do the Diwalis every year. Go to their their little, where they sell their beads and stuff. Just I can't say that I have a problem with them, and they have been really decent to me. It's just unfortunate it's not a lot of African Americans. I don't believe there's enough of us in that sector, that space at this point, but hopefully that will change. And Lulu, you said, yes, you have. And I think you're speaking to the fact that I was saying that you've traveled and done things. I remember meeting an African woman years ago when I was getting my master's, and I forget which country she was from, but she had been over here by herself. She came over here, got her education, and I had never been out of the country. And so she spoke French, and she spoke like I think she even spoke Vietnamese or something. And so we were talking, and she said, you know what? And she, African, had her accent and everything. And she said, you Americans think you're so superior. And she wasn't talking to me directly, but she was just saying, and she goes, and it's so funny. Some have never traveled, don't even know, they have seen nothing. And I said, damn, and that stuck with me. It's like, how can we be so elitist? Hell, you don't even know other countries, how their silverware, what they eat with, you don't know. The only ghetto you've seen is the ghetto that they talk about here. You don't know about the ghetto over in Italy and other countries where you think a Benz is a big deal here because you ain't been across the seas and see that a Benz over there is nothing. They into mini car. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but yet and still we look down on people, How did we get? Oh, I think we got into this with the DEI. So y'all, I've been doing my voiceovers, because I prefer to do my voiceovers than the lives, because they're just easier for me. But I was saying on one of my videos, I said I'm a DEI friendly. I use AI, because AI is like artificial intelligence. So that's my DEI for my channel. Chris says, I want to travel more, but right now with all these plans, this is not a good time. I don't even know if it's a good time to travel either, with the political climate as well, with all these tariffs and things that are going to be happening with Trump, and just the hostility against the US at this point. And the flights, the planes are just messed up. My daughter, she just got back from a business trip Sunday, but she has to travel again in March. And y'all, I know I'm being a helicopter mom, but I'm flying with her because I just can't. And so she thinks that I want to go because, I just want to go have a good time, and just be with her. But really, it's like I just told my mother tonight, I said, I just can't because I will be sick. It's too many planes falling. And I feel like I want to call her job. And I remember when I was first, but I used to be a legal secretary, like when I was first out of college, like right my first couple of years out of school, and I was doing that. And my dad was like, one of the attorneys, the attorneys, they're a-holes. And my dad was like, you want me to come up to the job and cuss one of them out or quit for you? Because that's not how we roll. You don't have to work under those circumstances. And I was like, no, I'm grown. I can handle it. But that's how I feel, y'all. I feel like calling her job and saying she can't come. She can't travel because I don't want her in no planes. It's scary. Does anybody know what's going on? Why these planes are falling out the sky? I think the one that happened today was a military plane. And not that that makes it any better, but it's kind of, I'm just like, well, at least it's not a commercial flight. I hope, I don't know. But yeah, I feel you. I want to do some, I want to go somewhere as well. I don't know where we're talking about going next, but I won't be going anywhere if things are going to be dropping out of the sky. And unfortunately, the coast that we live on, you can't really take cruises anywhere from here to abroad. Everything is generally, flying out of like Miami or somewhere. So I don't know. Lulu says, and I heard he's stopping green card. Wait. And I heard he's stopping green card holders at the airports when they return. Really? No, I haven't heard that. Hey, y'all, has anybody heard? Because Lulu told me, did you guys hear that ASAP Rocky, they said that he was found guilty? Remember, Lulu, you had told me that earlier? Because I'm looking online. Let me see. Has anybody else heard that? Yeah, I haven't seen it, Lulu. I'm looking again right now. Y'all, I'm so glad that I came on here and had just this intimate live. I'm really trying to get better at these lives because it's just out of my it's out of my comfort zone. And especially being on camera, that's just a pain in the ass for me. But I be trying. The lounge be doing. I be like, girl, it's so comfortable for you. But yeah, I don't see, Lulu. I don't see that they said that he was found guilty. I don't see anything. Oh wait, let me see. It says ASAP Rocky pleaded. No. But what I have been seeing is the fact that they're saying that his witnesses are possibly going to derail his case. The people that were supposed to be testifying on his behalf, like the ASAP Rocky crew, because they're thinking that they may be perjuring themselves on his behalf, and that it's not going to bode well for him. Lulu says, ask Trump and Musk, they might know. Girl, and I thought they were falling out because somebody was talking about Elon Musk be standing right by him like he running the country now, though. You know what I mean? And Trump just sits there looking up at him. But excuse me, because I did hear that they were talking about the Department of which was it? They were talking about people that were deceased that were still getting benefits that were 150 years old. And so his humor it rubbed me the wrong way. Anything that man say just makes me sick. Y'all know he's South African too, right? I only came across that one article. Okay, yeah, I haven't seen it. He goes, he's standing next to Trump and he goes, yeah, what we're finding is that there are people who are still receiving benefits that are approximately 150 years old. And I'm paraphrasing. By my estimation, I think they would be dead. And then Trump kind of smirks, and I'm like, oh God, okay. You know, people just that old white, as Storm Rose said, Wonder Bread laughter, y'all. Like, oh my God, it just falls so flat, right? But it's just crazy. I'm really scared for the younger folks with all this DEI stuff. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. How far back are they gonna roll back to the 1960s? Like, where they are just denying Black folks jobs? Like, what's gonna happen? You know, it's scary. It's scary. I was just telling my mom, I just don't want my daughter to have to be in a position where she has to rely, as she goes through life. I mean, I just want her to always have, property and things like that, because these jobs are not secure for us. And whatever we have is just, you want your kids to have something. Lulu says, no, they were in the Oval Office yesterday talking with his 4-year-old son on his neck. Oh, I didn't see that. Elon, because Elon is weird too, though, right? And Chris says, it's so bad. Wondering, should I go back to school for a more secure field? Well, I don't know what field, but I mean, I always say have two solid skills. For me, the two, like, I started in legal, and so I was always able to be a litigation secretary, which I could still be a secretary if the rubber hit the road and I needed to be. I remember enough to be able to, I know the procedural things. It hasn't changed that much. I think the main things that have changed is a lot of stuff is digital now. Your filings are done differently, but the documents, the pleadings, and those things are still pretty much the same. And then you always have the rules of court. So you have your document that you look up to figure out what you need to do. But I'm going to tell you, with that said, that is one area, in my opinion. First of all, you don't have to have an education you don't have to have a college degree to be a legal secretary. So, because I just fell into that because one of my friends had done it after college, and it pays really well. Like intellectual property law, they pay really well the last time I was looking into it. But so when I was in tech, well, I'm in tech, but I'm like, when I had left legal, went to tech, they had the big layoffs one time. Everybody got laid off. I was able to quickly get a job again, being a legal secretary temporarily, I think like 6 or 8 months, until I got another tech job. So I think if you get something like that where I think you should be able to do a couple things that are high earning, have high earning potential. But if you, I mean, but you mean because listen, girl, I was studying for the LSAT at one point, but yeah, that just wasn't my ministry. I couldn't. I was trying to be an attorney because my parents tried to go to be a nurse, couldn't do it. The only thing that I really mastered that was just kind of a knack for me was getting into IT because of the troubleshooting and the logic. I was able to do a lot of that, and I didn't even understand how I would understand, it was just natural for me with a little bit of education. But in terms of, you said you wish you went into IP law. I mean, you could still, like, are you trying to be an attorney? You want to be a paralegal? You want to do the legal assistant? I mean, it's not that hard, because a lot of it, the thing about law that people don't understand, and I don't mean to say they don't understand, is it's pretty routine. I mean, just like we're seeing all this stuff with Diddy, it's the same format, you know, the case, like your whole case law is already set up. The moving papers, the complaints, the response, those are all the same. If you look at pleadings, they're all the same. Plaintiff, defendant, those went through blah, blah, blah. So it's all pretty standard. So once you get it down a couple of times, it's going to be pretty easy. And IP, that's where the money is. I know, well, I don't know if it's still like that, but I know like a few years ago, especially in Silicon Valley, when they were doing all that digital stuff, and oh my God. You says I was a license in something certified field, do school again. Wait, you're saying you want a license? I know. Yes, girl. Silicon Valley, woo. Those secretaries, because I was working when I did legal, I was in San Francisco, right? So I worked in the city, but the ladies down in like San Bruno and over there like Google area, man, Stanford area, they were making a killing. That's where you make a lot of money, but you could still, I mean, anywhere in California is still pretty good because of the digital assets and everything. Now the other thing, because I used to do, well, I haven't done it for a few years now, but I would go to the schools and talk to the young girls about getting into tech. The one area right now that is booming is cyber, which is kind of taking a backseat. Cyber and AI. If you have AI with a cyber background and you can code, baby, you are going to be the cat's meow for sure. Lulu says, Chris, please do it soon before they privatize it. Yeah, she's right, Chris. I mean, if you can go to school at any time. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's ever an age in which you need to stop. But listen, y'all, let me tell you, when I first got into tech, and I had a channel which I was trying to help people get into, like fast track their career. You can get your certs. It's a lot of ways that you can parlay it into a 6-figure income. I mean, you might already be making a pretty decent income. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is I know a lot of the women, especially in California, if you already have a pretty high paying salary, you want to segue into another one that's similar. You don't want to take a huge hit to your salary, your wages, right? You can get credentials, certifications. You don't have to necessarily, you really don't even have to, as long as you have a degree, you can get your certs. Like for me, in my area, I need a CISSP. Never got it, okay? But I have a master's, so that offsets the people who have the CISSP. If you don't have the academic, you know, like the BS or whatever, in like say if you're not a computer science major, that's okay. Because if you have your BA or something, you can still go get your whatever. And I'm speaking tech because I don't know nothing about like the law. I mean, I know about being a legal secretary, but in terms of law, it's pretty standard. You got to go to law school. But I'm just talking about things that you can get into where you can make a buttload of money with, you know, I'm not going to say minimal effort because you do need to get some credentials, but you could do it. You could do it. Lulu says crown tilted, fix, flex it, and keep it moving. Exactly right. I want more money. California is so brutally expensive. What job can you make $350 a year? Well, so my daughter, she was out of school, a technical program manager, and her total, and this was for Lyft, but of course they had the big layoffs. Her entry level position was like the low twos, right? And that's with the stock options and all of those things. So if you're talking about 200 for a college grad, if you have your degree, now I can't say you're going to start at 350 because at that level, you probably have to be mid-level. You probably have to have some years of experience. But I guarantee you, listen, I coached her into, my daughter would tell you, my mama helped me get this. I did, because I used to tell her, you're not an athlete, but if you get into this tech, if you get into coding, you can make just as much money as a bench riding NFL player. That's what I used to say. I used to tell her, you could be a mini rock star, because I knew that it wasn't good. I knew that if you get into tech, you can start in the high 150, 70, 80,000 salary, right? So for you to get to the 350, it's doable. I have friends that are making that kind of money. Not me, which was, but you're going to have some experience. Like, they're not going to walk you into a 350K position. And I used to tell her that when she was doing the stuff with Google and stuff, I used to say, listen, because when her first internship at Google, I was like, you're not going to be able to ride the bicycles, because she was a kid, you know, she was doing her internship and she would be playing pool and sleeping in the iPod. They have those pods where you sleep and stuff. And I used to say, listen, for the money that they're paying you, because it wasn't that kind of money, Chris, but it was huge for a sophomore. And I would say, when people pay you that kind of money, they want that kind of work, baby. Okay. And they pretty much own you. And so where I work an 8-hour day, you're going to be working a 10 to 12-hour day. So for a $350,000 a year job, if you literally seriously want it, it's there. But I'm going to say in the tech sector, you're going to have to be like technical programming. You're going to need some, right now, everything is going to be AI based. Everything is AI and security. I mean, and you're going to need to know how to write code. You're going to need to know some kind of a coding language. So I'm not big on that. My daughter could probably give you more. She does, like, she helps people with that. I don't, but it's doable. It's literally doable. I mean, 350 out the gate, unless you're pretty close to it, I would say that could probably take you a few years. I was just being realistic, but I know you can do it though. It's doable. But how hard do you want to work? You know, what do you want to do? And yes, you probably are going to need to go back and get some certs. But I think if you get enough certs, you can probably. And I don't know what your skill set is at this point, but I have mentees. I have this one lady. She met because she saw me on a YouTube channel, and I was doing a panel, and she reached out to me, and I gave her all kind of tips. She will be getting her master's, I believe. And I'm not going to say her name, but she's been in the chat with us before. And I've encouraged her, shared my experience, and shared, my money and stuff. I gave her a lot of information, and so it's doable. It is doable. Chris says, I think the plan I have will work. Just have to have faith and give it to God and put it in the work. That's another thing. Absolutely. As long as you have a plan, absolutely. Like for me, I would love to be able to at some point do YouTube full time, but I know I've been around this game for a minute, and the money, it takes so long, child. Like, that's why I always put my job first, because I know that you can, but the numbers statistically, for me to make the kind of money that I need to make, you know what I'm saying? That'll take some time, but there are other things that I want to do. And so I am thinking, but YouTube is just not it's not reliable enough. I mean, I know, like, even people that have been on here for years, they'll tell you when they really tell you what they're really, really making. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I mean, if you like California, kind of what we have to make a month, right? So, and it's very few content creators. And I know that they say that you can, but then you got to play the long game. You know what I mean? It's like, for me, I was really trying, but then my job always takes precedence because I can't lose my money, Exactly. That's the thing. That listen, I learned that when I got demonetized. I think it was in 2022. I stayed demonetized for a whole year. I was still doing content because I don't care. I mean, it was like, okay, whatever. I had to delete videos and all of this stuff. I appealed it twice and they still said no. And it was like, it's just too much. And they don't tell you when you get hit for reuse content, they don't tell you which videos, so, but that's true too, Lulu. You says nothing is reliable these days. Yeah, that's another thing. To Chris's point, like when you have a job, like you got the benefits, like we don't have to worry about your dental and all of your medical and stuff. But if you are self-employed, the discipline required, and I don't know. It's a lot. Chris says, and I heard they rarely give you a reason why you're. Well, I was demonetized for reuse content. They talk, but I didn't know. Okay, so for me, what they told me was reuse content. So I tried to. I had over 1,000 videos on my channel, right? So I like, how do you determine which one? So, and ask any other content creator, they'll tell you if you get demonetized for reuse content, you're going to keep going back. Hey, well, they don't tell you which videos. So I think one of the things that happened was I was doing a lot of shorts at the time. So when you do shorts, you'll grow, you'll get subscribers, but it's like, but your views won't match. So that's one of the reasons why I'm okay with doing shorts, but I don't put a lot of effort into them, because you don't get paid by subscribers, you get paid by views. So I was really focused on, at that time, just trying to get the numbers up, which, of course, it's a vanity metric, because people were telling me, oh, if you get shorts, you'll get more subscribers. But what happens is your shorts subscribers, it's harder to convert them into watching your long form videos. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, it's really weird with the algorithm. Let me see what you guys are saying, because maybe I'm off topic. And I heard they really give you a reason. Yes. Hey, Messy Sweet Spot. Thank you for joining. That's my boo right here. Now, Messy Sweet Spot, y'all. Shout out to Messy Sweet Spot. So a couple years ago, when I was doing the Shanquella Robinson, Messy Sweet Spot shared one of my videos and gave me a shout out. And that really boosted my channel. So yes, y'all, Gigi is in the building. So Gigi, I'm just kind of telling them stuff about mistakes that I made, when I was trying to be big like you with the celebrity in the house. Love you too, girl. I've been following Gigi forever. Gigi, I started following you back when Shanquilla, not Shanquilla, but like way back when Kanika Jenkins. I don't think you were covering that, but way back with the Usher days, girl. Yes. So I love Gigi. And to be honest, Gigi is one of the people that influenced me to think that I could do this. And I can't do it like she do it, okay? It's like you'll see people like Gigi like, oh, yeah, well, she get up there and I could do that shit. This stuff is hard, I'm going to tell you. Gigi, drop us a little knowledge, okay? In terms of being able to make that $15,000, $20,000 a year, a month, that's what we all trying to do. What you think? Is it, because some people make it seem like, oh, girl, you'll get there. It's hard as hell, right? And the algorithm is so up and down, like you just don't know. I'm trying to use a bit of the AI now because, I don't like doing lives. I'm just not comfortable doing them, but I'm trying to force myself. But it's just not consistent. The algorithm is so fickle. Yeah, Gigi saying it's true. It's not what it used to be, Things have changed a lot. It's like, you get, like one day I got 10,000 views on a video, then the next day you get 6. It's like, well, hell, what is the problem, It's just crazy. So, but yeah, we was talking to Chris, talking about the reality of being a content creator. But Gigi, you've been doing this for years, so you know Gigi has the numbers and the views. So it's you said a lot of the bigger channels were yes, they were. Yeah. And see, I think it's saturated now. You know, like Messy Sweet Spot. Gigi has a following. They're gonna follow her to whatever, you know, channel she goes to or whatever. So I mean, I've seen Gigi start channels, you know, just different channels and be having thousands of people. And it's harder for the smaller content creators because we just don't have the visibility, and you know, you don't have the following. And now if you're doing, see, this sector, the tea sector, in my opinion, maybe Gigi could weigh in if she's still here, it's so saturated, you know? And so it's hard to get out there and kind of compete with the bigger channels. It just is, you know, and they're saying that the YouTube is pushing out smaller content creators, but the smaller content creators, in my opinion, you know, they're doing the ones that are bloggers. No, girl, this is small until you get like 50, 60. Yeah, it's still small. They're pushing the smaller content creators, but it's pretty much the ones that are vlogging, you know, the ones that are doing lifestyle kind of stuff. And I'm honestly, just with my job and stuff, even though like I, you know, let HR know what I was doing, I'm just not comfortable getting out there exposing all my business. Oh, you know, today I had a granola bar and it helped me be you know, it got my system together. And now, I mean, I'm just not with all that oversharing, you know. I mean, I talk to you guys because it's small, but I'm just talking about, you know, how these people get out there and they taking you shopping, and those channels are really doing well. Have you seen this young man? His name is London. I forget his London. Him and his girlfriend. Oh, and DoDash. Now those two channels are blowing up, but they're showing their work. They're like, he was working at Walmart and he was just pushing baskets, and I believe he had like a $15,000 or $20,000 month, right? The biggest check he ever had, something like that. But basically they are just vlogging their lives. And so there's a new trend where people, you know, just want to see how you're living. And honestly, I tried to do ASMR too. I tried to do that. My mother was like, I will smack the ish out of you. Not literally, but okay, listen, Chris. So it was ASMR, but it was the mukbang. Well, I actually tried to do both. I tried to do the ASMR, but it was the mukbang where she was like, no, don't you dare. Because girl, my mother, you know, she was so sweet. She got me a microphone and stuff. She was trying to support my vision. And so I was going to sit up there and eat some chicken. I was just trying it, girl. I had seen the people doing it. They said you can grow, you can be big, you eating chicken and all this stuff. So I think I went and got me a big box of Popeyes. And my mom had got me the Blue Yeti, microphone. She just supported me, right? I sat up there. I couldn't. My mother was like, nah, that's not, no, you cannot do that. You know, but again, because of my job and stuff, she was like, that's not going to go over really good. You sitting up there eating a bucket of chicken. So I had to scratch that. So the ASMR, I tried to choose some ice. I was trying to, because there's another Black lady. I don't know if you guys have seen her. She does It's So Good or something like that. I even tried to do that. I did a couple videos, but nothing took off. So I've been debating if I just want to do, excuse me, you guys. I've been saying, well, should I just go ahead and do the vlogging of my life, you know? But I'm too private for that. I just can't be. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I can do that. But that's what they're pushing. I mean, if you are the type of person who don't mind being out there and, you know, you're open and stuff, that's a quick way to grow. I've seen those channels grow pretty fast. Now the faceless channels are growing too if you just get the right, just get the right niche. But our sector right now is just, it's oversaturated. So we're all competing to do the same stories. So it's hit or miss. One day if you get the algorithm at the right time, then you're good, but it's not going to be consistent, Chris says that's more like a celeb influencer. That ain't me. Yeah, see, I know and I feel like that too. Like, I'm just not that person to be taking you, oh, I got new sheets today, come in my bedroom. I don't want people seeing how I sleep. I just feel like that's an energy or an invasion of my privacy. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when I film, like every now and then I'll film like in areas of my home, but I'm still, that's just like people knowing too much about you. And then, because you don't know who's on the opposite end of that screen. But yeah, Chris, our sector, I know sometimes you do reality shows. Reality shows are really good. I did really good with reality shows when I was doing Love and Marriage Huntsville. I had gotten really big on that. But I got out of that because that just became like, the millimeters and there's a huge fan base. So if you hit a lick on that and they like you, I mean, they're really supportive. And even Melody came on my show and everything. I did an interview, and I was thinking about doing Tubi shows. I was saying, well, maybe I should start just reviewing Tubi movies. The key is though, you said, but the strike set a lot of stuff back. But the scripted shows are back on though, right? Those are good. I like if you get the right show. Like, I don't know if you know Murad Morale. He became big by doing Love is Blind or Love Island. That's how he blew up, And so I tried to do a season of that, but by then he had, they had already had the people that were at the forefront of that. I think also for me, is when I had my big, like I was giving Gigi, saying, how Gigi had shouted me out, and then a lot of people, I got picked up by some bigger bloggers, and that kind of set my channel up. I grew kind of fast for a minute. When I got hit with that reused content with the Shanquella Robinson stuff, instead of me continuing and trying to get remonetized and doing what I should have done and stayed on that wave, I just was like, well, I don't care. I just didn't. I was like, well, whatever. And so I wasn't consistent. I didn't ride that wave. And so if you're in the algorithm at that level, because I think one of my videos was like 2 something. Once you get that, if you keep going, you're going to be fine. But if you're not consistent, once you hit the wave, you must continue to ride it. Because once you fall off, it's hard to get back on it, period. If you hit a lick, keep riding it. You said, I really love true crime, but that can take a lot of time. True crime is awesome too. I've been thinking about that. But when you say it takes a lot of time, not necessarily. I mean, why you say it take a lot of time? Because, if you get your story and just do your video, like if you do a pre-recorded, because a lot of people do the pre-recordeds with that. Some people do the live. I mean, you can make it work. I don't know. I don't know how saturated the true crime is. I haven't really been following it. I was thinking about trying to get into it because I'm trying to figure out a space where it's not as crowded, because really, it kind of depends on the algorithm, how crowded the space is. Pre-recorded can take a lot of, yeah, it can. So that's the thing. This one lady had told me she was doing like documentary style, like historical pieces. And so she's the reason I changed my name. And she had told me my videos used to be very edit intensive. Like it would take me hours. I think I showed you one. And she was saying, you don't need to do all of that. Like you can do, as long as for your pre-records, as long as you have some B-rolls, like some transitional pieces, like mine will be like every like couple 30, every 20, 30 seconds. I'm like, I'm trying to make it look like a movie. You don't have to do that. So I've learned that I can do pre-recorded where it would take me 5 or 6 hours sometimes to try to do a really good video. I can cut that down to about an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. I really try not to go over 2 hours anymore. You know, with just your good audio, and then of course your transitional pieces. And you could, you know, and you could kind of cut it down. The other thing you could do, Chris, which is something I did too, is I would hire people on Fiverr. Now, I did that for a minute. If you can find somebody cheap, the only problem I had with the Fiverr is the turnaround time. They weren't as good. I was using them on my other channel, and I realized that I only did it a few times, but they would kind of delay my releases because I was trying to get a video out every like 2 or 3 days. And so I wasn't getting them back fast enough. And then after I used them a few times, I realized that my edits were actually better because the videos that I did had actually got higher views. So then I was like, oh, forget it, you know. So you'll do your audio, and then they'll do they'll add the visuals. That's what I use them for. But you can use them for different things. It just depends on what you want them for. But yeah, Fiverr, you can get a lot of stuff on Fiverr. I just, at this point, I think the last time I used Fiverr was last year sometime, maybe for one or two videos. I think a Kanye video. You can use them for your thumbnails. I think I used it for thumbnails a couple of times, and then their thumbnails, it's okay, but not that great. But yeah, Fiverr's pretty good if you need a resource. And then I don't know if Lulu is still here, but I think she has been doing some videos or doing some stuff for TikTok that I want to learn how to do, because you can do stuff in bulk. So if you do I've heard the faceless channels, if you can find a little niche where you're doing it in bulk, and I'm thinking if you can do like a 2 or 3 minute video in bulk where you could release it where it's just doing it daily for you, it'll upload it on the day that you set it. Something like that would be good, something where you're doing it where it's not time consuming and it's consistent. Do you do thumbnails for your shorts? No, I don't. I used to, but you don't really have to do the thumbnails for the shorts because people are just kind of scrolling, and you know how they come up in the feed. So when you're doing your shorts, and I noticed that it's been kind of weird lately, because what used to happen is it would give you three examples of what your thumbnail should be. It would do it for you, but lately it doesn't do it. Yeah. In terms of the shorts, Chris, I know some people heavy promote shorts. I don't. If you want your numbers to grow, then yes, I think you should do shorts. But I feel like the shorts, and it just depends on it just depends on the school of thought you follow. Because one thing I'll tell you about shorts, and there's a content creator, and I'm not going to disclose that person, but they could actually tell you a lot about it. Where shorts, you can get a video, a short, and get 1 million views, and you're going to get a lot of subscribers, but your views, first of all, they don't pay that well. the shorts don't pay as well as long form videos. And number two, even if you got like 50,000 subscribers, but you're only getting 200 views on if it's not the percentage ratio, the correct, then it's like, what's the point, right? Because you don't get paid off of subscribers, you get paid off of views. So that's why I don't necessarily subscribe to the shorts. It will grow your channel for sure, but like if you're trying to grow your channel so you can do some brand deal to say, hey, I got this amount of subscribers, then that's good. But the thing, and another thing is that when you're looking at brand deals and stuff like that, you don't even have to have, you can do brand deals with less than 1,000 subs or something. It just depends on the company. You said it's all about the views to really make them. Exactly. That's it. That's why, I mean, they have channels that don't even have a lot of subscribers that still outdo the bigger channels. It's the views, it's your niche, like financial channels. I've always thought about the financials. It's just that I'm not savvy enough in finances. But the finance, they CPMs are probably like 12, 13, way more money than we making, So they're doing a killing. I used to try to do tech stuff, but that's hard because you really got to do your research. Tech pays really well if you can do product reviews and know your stuff. And now it's a lot easier because of AI, But if you can become a product reviewer, a subject matter expert on products and software, that's really good money, excellent money. But you really got to know what you're talking about. You said I've seen people with subs less than me and have videos. Yeah. That's exactly it. And again, see, that's the problem, is they could have less than you, but it may be they caught that algorithm. It's just like almost the algorithm is their variables, and maybe there's 2 variables in their profile that set them apart from you, that got them on that wave. You just don't know. Right? And that's how it happens. It's just how it happens. Me and a content creator that I used to be really tight with, she doesn't do it anymore. But we pretty much, like, we were both starting out together, and we would do the same videos. Like we weren't even tripping, girl, because we were still trying to learn. We would talk about videos, and of course, we did our own thumbnails and we did our own content. We would do the same stories. And when I tell you, one day mine would take off and hers wouldn't. The next day hers would take off and mine wouldn't. It would be and nothing would let us understand why one video did better than the other. And I literally mean, we did this for about a good year. We were both covering T.I. and time. We covered the same stories. We would do it in the same day. Now, the only difference, sometimes it would be the time of day, because she lived, she was East Coast. So sometimes, depending on when she uploaded, that's the only difference I could really say. And of course, our videos would be different, but I'm telling you, it would be, yeah, we couldn't figure it out. It would be essentially almost the same thing. And we knew it wasn't based on people liking one of us more than the other, because again, sometimes it would be her video would take out and sometimes mine. She eventually quit, because I don't know if she got a reuse content or whatever, but she has some other stuff going on. She was like, it's not worth it. You said, I swear it has to be a way to decode the algorithm. Yeah, I'm sure it is. But my daughter's friend worked for Google, because when she worked there, so she's still part of a group with Google, and they're very, like, when I tell you, they can barely say anything about the algorithm. Like, I had some questions about some stuff, and so he was helping me. He kind of helped me with a couple of things, but they're very scared. Most of the people, I'm just saying. I'm not saying I don't know, but in terms of what happens behind the scenes, because they have an NDA about that as well. I'm sure you already know that, but yeah, they signed an NDA about what they can and can't talk about. So they're very persnickety and scared to talk about it, girl. But I'm sure there is. Now, the other thing, Chris, that I was going to try to do, I was going to try to find information out on the dark web, girl. I was going to try to set up my home little network. I had got all my little stuff and, you know, get my VPN, and I was going to do it. But then as I started doing more research about how people can track you and everything, and how really scary and dangerous the dark web is, then I said, no, let me chill before I get myself into something, you know, that's beyond my knowledge of understanding, because I don't understand all that hacking and stuff. I've done a little bit of penetration testing or training, but I'm not that deep into it. So I didn't want to set myself up for somebody to be, because, you know, once you get on the dark web and stuff and your IP, the people who scan those things, girl, they can get so much information about you. But almost everything that you want to know, you can find it there for sure. If you bold enough to get out there and you can master how to the file systems to get the information you want, you could probably get some good intel. Okay, y'all, we have been talking, and I know everybody, because I think it's late for Lulu. Yeah, my mother was like, don't you dare. Because I was telling was like, y'all, I think I'm going to try this so I can find out. I was like, girl, have somebody knocking at your door. Are you crazy? But yeah, that's scary. But yeah, Chris, girl, look into some of those, get some of those certs under your belt. And one of those, I don't know if you like coding or anything, but coding is paying so good right now. Oh, AI, everything is AI. Actually, yesterday, Vance was talking about, he was over in France and he was addressing he was at a French summit, and he was talking about it's going to be like $480 billion over the next 5 years allotted to AI development and AI related stuff. And they're also talking about they don't want it to be regulated. They don't want like the governments to put restrictions on how the tools and the technology will be developed, because if you are familiar, like say for example, encryption laws in the US versus Europe have caused a lot of problems, because you know there are different encryption laws. If I'm sure if you have videos that you might try to play in another country, you'll see it says you can't play in this country or it can't play in that country. Well, that's because of different copyright laws, different encryption laws, and just different laws like that. So those are the regulations and things that make it harder for international software and codes and things to be shared, right? So what they're saying is that, and see, that's what they talk about. A lot of people think that AI is going to be taking a lot of human jobs, and AI really would not exist without humans though. Now, is it going to require that you have a certain level of skill and, you know, to be able to run these things and code it? Absolutely. But that's where we need to zone in and understand it, you know, because it's going to be AI. And if we don't start looking at it from that perspective and being involved, we're going to be on the outs again. And your brain can handle coding. I'm a creative too, but you can just get enough. Trust me, I was a creative. I never did well in a lot of different things that I tried, except for stuff like this. But you don't have to know a lot. That's the thing. That's what, when I be telling the girls, about cyber, it's like if you can manage a cell phone, it's a microprocessor. I know it's not the same, but it's scalable. You have to look at it from a different perspective. It's like, I just try to break it down to the point of, you have a phone, that's a microprocessor. So you know how your file systems, you know how you operate your phones, you know how you install software. So let's do that. So then we talk about replicating data. You copy something from your phone to something else. That's mirroring. Like, you just start telling them everything. And I know it's way more complex, but it starts very small. We can do it. Listen, honey. Trust me, I stay on my daughter's neck about everything. This girl's getting her master's in AI. You can do it. You have no choice, or you will be left behind. Seriously. I'm too damn old. I ain't got to do it because I ain't got that many years where I got to worry about it. I'm not going to do it. But for people who got 20, 30, 40 years left to work, baby, y'all want the money? Get you some of them little online courses. And here's another thing. While you're doing your YouTube, even that guy who, Dante London, that's his name. Go look him up, Dante London. Dante London, I think one of his checks was like, he makes like he made like a $20,000 check, girl. Dante is still doing Instacart, okay? So what I'm saying is, no matter what you're doing, no matter what's happening on YouTube, it's just not stable. So if you can get into something and you can get like your certs or something, or just, it's not, you got Coursera, you got these online $15 classes. I mean, self-paced. You got Google. Google has, I always tell everybody, go get some of those Google marketing classes. They have those certifications as well. Those are awesome. It's just it's so many opportunities. We could be, Chris. I don't know. But I know one thing, girl, get that cert so you can get that money. And I know you probably already have something good, but you said you want 350, and I think it's doable. I think it's probably doable. You just got to get motivated. And you know what, 350 sounds good. I ain't gonna lie, but hell, girl, I don't want to work that hard right now, child. Because I know, like, at my company, if we making 350, that's a director, and they working your ass off. They working your ass off. But oh y'all, we had 2 hours. I know this video is not going to be monetized because I started off talking about R. Kelly, and they was saying all kind of, great words and all those words that will get you demonetized. So it's fine. 350 for someone else, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's doable. Is that your goal? Is that like a 5-year goal, or have you set that up, or is that a real something that you really want to do? Or are you just talking? Because you know me, girl. I'm like, if you really want to do it, you can. This YouTube too. I'm going to try to get on TikTok. I know it doesn't pay as well, but I know I see Lulu doing her thing on TikTok, and everybody's telling me I need to get on TikTok. But the only thing about TikTok is they're saying they're taking it away. So I don't know. But I also know that there are other platforms that people are talking about. I know you guys were laughing about Facebook, but I just saw somebody saying, see, I'm not good at TikTok. I'm not. Okay, so your goal is to make 350 with your passion, but this world is so scary. Well, then that's it. Is it on a vision board? I mean, if that's your goal and that's your passion, then that's on your vision board. Then so shall it be. That's what it'll be. I think, people manifest what they want, you know. So some of the things that I wanted, your prayer board. Okay, I like that. Yeah. I have me and my daughter, we have our vision boards. We didn't do it for this year, but generally we do. And then we have our prayers where we write everything down. And then it's like you put them up and you go back a year later and things actually have been checked off. You know, it does work. Lulu says my Facebook is not doing well. Are you making money on it? Lala, no. No. Are you making money on it? Because I've heard Facebook is paying well, Lulu. Come on. Come on. Lulu says, I haven't got one like, oh. Lulu, yes, your videos. I love your videos. Those are so positive. How are your visit? Lala, stop. Chill. How are your videos doing on Instagram? Come on, La. What is the problem? Do you want me to get you or no? Come on, Papa. Come on, baby. All right. Okay, you guys, I'm sorry. You know, Lulu. Damn, I be saying Lulu, Lala. My dog's name is Lala, and then there's Lulu. Oh, you said in terms of views. What do you think is wrong? Huh? Your Instagram, those should be monetized though. The ones on TikTok too. And I think didn't I send you a video about if you're whatever you're doing on Instagram, the big thing on Instagram is hashtags. So you got to make sure you're using all those hashtags. Oh, it's doing better on YouTube. Okay, that's good. I don't be watching them on YouTube. I will watch them on TikTok, and I get the more notices on TikTok and on Instagram. But I have to start making a note to go over to the YouTube because I haven't been seeing them on YouTube. And I'm subscribed, but I better check my notifications. But are you making the money on YouTube or which one? Yeah, I see. Me too. I see them more on IG. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't either. But I know for Instagram, the big thing is hashtags. You got to make sure you use your hashtags. Oh, you say you do hashtags? But are you using the right ones? Because I took a class from Cutie TV, and she was trying. As a matter of fact, I could see if I still have some of the information for Instagram. No money yet on any. I don't know what the threshold is for TikTok or those. YouTube has gotten better though, because remember now you can be monetized at 500. Do you use illustrations yourself, Lulu? We waiting for you to answer, Miss Lulu. Y'all, thank you for, man, when I tell you, I'm so glad that I pushed through because I was like, I'm not doing this tonight. And for me, it's more of a, do you guys, well, Lulu does, Great T News. I started with him last year. That's my channel got remonetized, I think, the beginning of last year. And our goal, because I would talk to him and he was so sweet. The goal was to do a live every day. And he continued and I didn't. So he has gone live 350 some. I just saw it today. He's been live 350 some odd times since that we started that every day going live. But it's too much. It's really too much. So Lulu, we're waiting to hear, do you do the illustrations yourself? maybe she's doing something else because I think it's late where she is, right? We're on different times. Chris, you're supposed to be in bed anyway. Yeah, she probably gone, girl. Because that's why when I do lives late, I don't even bother her, because if I do something after 9:00, exactly, I'll be like, oh, Lulu's already tired. She go, I don't even bother. I already know. Oh, Lulu said, she said yes. Wait, so, okay, so you do so what do you use to do your illustrations? If you don't mind telling us. It's 1:20. Okay, girl. Y'all go to bed. And I gotta get up early tomorrow too. Yeah. Do you mind telling us what application you use? How you make them? Or you could post it and then we could go find it. Or just tell us a video we can watch. Oh, CapCut. See, I don't even know how to use CapCut. I need to get up to speed. Chris, do you know how to use CapCut? You know how to use it? I never use it. I'm not even good at Canva. I got to learn how to use Canva. I use I never heard of it. No, it's pretty popular. It's one of the, I think it's supposed to be one of the easier ones, to be honest, though, too. I use Filmora, which is crazy because I don't even know why I started that. Yeah, I need to learn how to use Canva. I've heard Canva's pretty good. But if you want to be really good, I think it's the one that that guy Tough News TV uses is Filmmaker Pro or something. That's where you get into the fancy schmancy ones. And girl, I don't know if y'all know, this stuff is expensive. Lulu says, and I write my own okay, I like that too. Yeah, that's good. I need to find someone good with, I don't know what that is. Pinger. I've never heard of that. I got to look that up. I never heard of that one. Yeah, don't find someone good, girl. Just learn it. I've tried to learn a lot of different apps so you can do your own stuff. But I was going to say, some of this stuff is expensive, like StreamYard. It gets to be expensive every month. I mean, it's not really expensive, but PNG Tuber, I still don't know what that is either. Like Filmora, I was using Filmora because I'd be doing my my videos, and then they want you to have licenses for this. When you see the special effects, you got to pay a separate licensing. And I mean, I'm like damn near $60-$70 a month, and I'm like, this is crazy. It's too. And then I just got to notice, talk about this license doesn't work, and so you won't be able to use this particular creative resource. To me, it should be all part of the package. It's crazy. But I don't know it with PN Tuber. I gotta look that up. I never heard of that. Okay, y'all. Everybody needs to go to bed. Don't we need to go to bed so we get our beauty sleep in, right? I don't want no bags under my eyes tomorrow. But I am glad that I came on. I'm just trying to push through because I really don't like doing lives. Lulu says they want you to pay for. Yes. That, and I don't like, I'm going to start getting the, I'm going to start using the free versions. Okay. Good night. Have a good day at work tomorrow. Don't work too hard. Let us know if we got to curse somebody out. We've been talking about doing that for Whirlman Beats. Yeah, good chat. I enjoyed it too. Y'all got to get up to speed on all that stuff that's going on with Chelsea and Tasha K. Lulu says, see you soon. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day or night, whether under the sun or stars. Thanks so much. You guys, I might have to put this one. I'm probably going to put it on private because it's not going to be monetized, and I'm going to cut out the the part, and then I'll re-upload it. And I'm just letting you know, since you guys were part of it, if there's any information you want to go back to. You know how they get when there's words that are inappropriate or whatever. But anyway, ladies, thank you guys. I really appreciate you walking me through this night, because I really didn't feel like being up here. I swear. You said, I swear, I think they are doing this on purpose. You know what? See, okay. Did you hear about the book? You know about the book? I'm waiting to see if Chris responds. There's a book, right? That Chelsea wrote a book. So people are saying that it is real. And Chelsea allegedly did, yes, and the randomness about the book on her live. Oh, wait, what you mean? I don't know okay, but they're saying that it is real. She did a book on Storm Monroe too, right? Which is like, damn. I mean, these people are brutal, girl. They are harsh. But the only thing I wasn't sure about, because Tasha was talking about how she fired her, and I thought that you can't disclose that you terminated somebody, or you could disclose it, but can't they sue you for that? That's what I was just confused about. Chelsea did a book. Yes. And you can imagine what she said. It's a mess. And today, Love Jones was going in on her. And that's another thing, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be watching these I'll be watching these other people go back and forth. I can't even get my own content done. I'll be so into what's going on. Chris says, I don't think she did. No, she didn't do an NDA. No, she didn't. But Tasha says she never has anybody do an NDA. But what I'm saying is, I don't think Tasha's the employer. I thought that, because I know here in California, I think they're not supposed to say if you were fired or whatever. They're only supposed to confirm dates of employment. That's what I thought. You said that is why I don't know if having a staff is good. Well, I mean, I think you just have to make sure you put in the proper protections, right? And then you have to just remain professional. Like, you just, people have employees and staff all the time, but I think sometimes people get too comfortable, and then if you're a small business, and then sometimes you it's like you work together so closely, you become like family, and then that's different. But if you work, if you make it more like a corporate environment, like, listen, we are coworkers, we are not friends, then maybe, just kind of establish and create your culture ahead of time so that it doesn't end up like this. But it was getting bad. I saw Love Jones today talking about Chelsea, and they were going in on each other. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm just shocked. I don't like beef like that. I don't want to, like, it's not, to me, it's not worth it. Like, if you work with somebody, it's like, if you fall out with somebody, the people that I have gotten close to on YouTube, like, one thing I always say is, if we ever have an issue, you'll never see me. I'm not bringing it to YouTube. Now, you could bring it to YouTube. You're not going to get that energy from me. It's just not. Because, first of all, because I give you my word, I'm not going to do that. And it would have to be something egregious, which I can't imagine. But I'm not. And then, the one person I did have a little bit of a situation, she had a situation. It wasn't me, because I'm like, girl, I don't know. That's your problem. It ain't mine. But even with that, it's like, you don't register like that with me. Like, you're not my kid. I can't claim you on my taxes, so I can't give you that energy. Like, so it's just best to bye. Like, we ain't got to beef shit. We too damn grown. What's the argument? We don't know each other. Be out. Be done. So I don't, but I think it's different with Chelsea and Tasha, because they literally work together. Chelsea, was kind of kept making little digs, like saying checked, talking about her husband and stuff. So I think it's personal. That's personal. You know, this other stuff, how people be falling out on here is crazy. Chris says no because I have too much class too. Yeah, I believe in the energy you put out. That's it's exactly. You know, people up here cussing each other out and like, why, girl? Please, you know, we ain't broke bread together. Lulu says, CB, Chris, how long you make your videos for on YouTube? So you said CB, so I'm CS. So are you talking to somebody else, Lulu? And she says, Chris, and how long you make your videos for on YouTube? Y'all, I have gotten so freaking far off topic tonight. That's a problem. CS. How long you make your videos? How long have I been content creator? I started my channel in 2019, but not consistently. Like I would maybe do stuff for a month or two, stop, come back, and then I was demonetized for over a year. So I guess I've been back for a year now. Realistically, I've been monetized for a year. Okay. Oh, no video timings. Wait, you said how long? Oh, so I do short videos, but what I'm hearing is that my videos need to be at least 8 to 9 minutes, but that's a lot of effort and work. So those are the pre-recorded videos. YouTube, and I did a video, let's see, a week or two ago, and it was like 8 minutes. I did an Irv Gotti video, and that video got decent amount of views, but it was the recommended length of time. Yeah, it was over 8 minutes. So I think the longer videos, because they want people to stay on YouTube longer. That's the intent, is to get people to continue to watch. So I think the longer the videos, because like the guy Dante London, he was saying if you're doing vlogging or, you know, videos about your life and stuff, you need to at least do 20-minute videos. So I think video length is important as well. Yeah, so I'm trying to get Chris says, oh, lives can go long for me, but pre-recorded I can try. Girl, if you're doing 30 up to 30 minutes, that's excellent. That is good. I wish I could do 30 minutes. Because if you can do over eight minutes, that's great for YouTube. No, that's really good. The lives are good too. I think the live should be probably, now some people like tonight, this is a 2-hour live. So some people are saying that, okay, the longer your live goes, it's gonna show more views, but in the long run, you'll get more later views because it's shorter, because people don't generally plan to listen to a 2-hour video. So sometimes they don't even click on it. But I haven't really tested it out yet, so I don't know about that. Lulu says, I know, right? My shorts are time consuming. I know. But Chris, if you can do 30-minute videos on YouTube, that's good though. Pre-recorded 30 minutes, that's awesome. Anywhere from 8 to 20 minutes is good. 30 minutes is good too, like anything over 8 minutes. So if you're able to do that, for me, well, and see, because if you have visuals and stuff, that's a lot of visuals to me. But my one true crime videos, that's good. For a true crime video, it would probably have to be, because when I listen to a true crime, you can't really get into the depth of the story in like 7 minutes. So anytime I do a true crime, like I'm planning to be listening for at least 30, 40 minutes, because it's like a story. I want some deets and the drama and the, you know, so that's good though. She said, Lulu says, did it attract views? In the true crime, you just have to be careful with the monetization to make sure. It got over 1,000 views. I don't know if it was worth it. But see, that's it. I mean, it was a longer video, 57 minutes. That's what I'm saying. The longer ones pre-recorded. Did you look at how much you got paid for it? And see, but and I'm just gonna say this, Chris. If it was a pre-recorded and it's a evergreen and it got over 1,000 views, that's good, because remember what we're doing now with this T sector. These stories are viral stories. They're only for a moment in time. Evergreen stuff, a video like I don't know what it was. People can watch that at any time, right? So the evergreen ones are actually better. Like, I mean, Kanye West right now, he's a hot topic. We might get our views on it, but then it's going to be done. But some videos are going to keep being relevant for whenever, right? So that's the thing. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, 2,000, but I'm just saying, if you compare it to your lives though, right? Or do you look at how much you got paid for lives? Because I think pre-records pay better from what I remember. Like, I don't really do, I'm just trying to start to do these lives, but my pre-recordeds, I think I was getting paid more back then, for sure. Like the lives aren't really, I don't know. I got to see. Okay. Well, see, I don't know. I've just started doing them really, I wasn't really into the lives, but let's see. I'll see. Yeah, I'm definitely not getting paid like I used to, so that's a bit of a thing, but whatever. We'll have to see. Okay, y'all, we have chatted our heads off, ladies. I hope both of you guys have a yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'm looking for other things to do though. Cause AdSense is too unpredictable. I gotta find some other things that I want to do. Everybody's doing yeah. People are somebody recently said they were starting a candle line and all of those things. I think some of those are saturated too. I wish I had product. I'm thinking about doing the t-shirts. I'm definitely gonna do a t-shirt. But yeah. All right. And you guys, if I call you Sweet Peach, please don't get offended, because I call everybody Mihan Sweet Peach. And so I did the other day, and somebody said, don't call me. I'm like, oh Lord. Whoo, child. You don't know what to say to people. I said, let me just tune off, okay? Y'all have a good night and have a beautiful day at work tomorrow. Oh, and I have my tagline, because the lounge, I told her I was gonna, when I be modded for her, sometimes I be wanting to say stuff back, because people be making comments sometimes, right? And you be wanting to match that energy, which I know we shouldn't. So her tagline is lead with love, and my new tagline, you guys, is shit. I done already forgot. No, life is not a one size fits all. Do you? Okay. So that's my live for the day. All right, you guys. Good night. All right. Bye.